everyone, and welcome to Carowinds! I am so excited to say that we are finally here. One of the most unique theme parks in the Cedar Fair lineup and in the country. We are seated right on the border between North Carolina and South Carolina. There are so many coaster credits to claim here, so many unique rides, some shows. We do have the Fast Lane, right? Not Fast Track, not Quick Queue. Fast Lane here at Cedar Fair. We have that all day today because we're only here for one day. We also have the all-day dining plan. We're gonna see what the value is in that. Mostly, we're just looking forward to having a great first day ever here at Carowinds. I'm Tim.
I'm Katie.
And we do things like this. Coincidentally, Carowinds is celebrating 50 years of operations during our visit today. There's actually a commemorative fireworks and drone show debuting tonight, but unfortunately, we didn't know about that until we got here and we aren't able to stick around till close. We will, however, be on the lookout for any other 50th anniversary highlights throughout the park as we make our way through all the new coaster credits today. So at the behest of our friends Chad and Vanessa from 2 Tickets to Adventure, we are gonna start today with Nighthawk. Not probably the most exciting coaster credit of the day. It is a flying coaster. You start on your back and then you twist over. The reason we're starting with Nighthawk is because supposedly it takes a little bit longer for them to load. So even though we do have Fast Lane, we want to be sure to get to as many rides as possible today, and we want to make sure this line doesn't back up. I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys, this looks miserable. You're lying on your back, going upside down up the lift hill, and then you twist over. Ugh. Ugh. It is a very pretty layout though. Goes around the fountain.
They took that last turn so slow. Like, I know it's just not warmed up yet, but...
I think this is gonna be one of those like get it over with coaster credits as opposed to the coaster credits.
I love Manta. I don't think I'm gonna
take a picture of you.
I don't love Manta, but I love the idea of Manta. So, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fun.
If you guys are ready to ride, make some noise. All clear dispatch.
Okay, so let's start with the positives. It's over.
It's done.
It's so horrible. I don't think I've ever been on a worse ride than that. That was a top 10 worst rides of all time. It's so rough.
It doesn't feel like a flying coaster.
I can't.
It feels like a torture.
It does. And the corkscrew at the end is basically them like, oh, you wanted more?
Middle finger. Oh, God.
We got it, it's done, and now every other ride can only be better than that. That's the upside.
Yeah, I hope this is next on the refurbishment list, which by refurbishment I mean
kill it,
get rid of it,
murder
and
it,
put something better.
Put it in the grave. So with that absolute nightmare out of the way, we are moving through the park. Now, there are a bunch of big name coasters here that we really want to get as our coaster credits for the day. Copperhead Strike and Fury 325 at the top of the list. Unfortunately, Fury is down for the moment. Hopefully it opens later on today because I would hate to miss that one. But in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and knock out some of the smaller coaster credits because our fast lanes aren't good for things like Kiddy Hawk and the Woodstock Express. We want to be sure to hit those before the lines start backing up. So I think we're headed to Kiddy Hawk now, and then Intimidator's right here, so who knows? We might try to hit that while we're right next to it, just because it's there. Much, much better. Still had its own little rattle. Not perfect, but much, much smoother, much, much better than Big Daddy Nighthawk over there. Never doing that one again. Kiddy Hawk? Maybe. For our next credit, we are headed into Camp Snoopy, and look at this lush greenery. Actually does look like a campsite. Knott's Berry Farm has the ultimate Camp Snoopy, I will say that.
That's
but
true. That's true. This one looks really nice though.
It does. Look at that little Snoopy statue. How cute. Woodstock Express comes in many shapes and sizes across the Cedar Fair parks, but this one is a genuine wooden roller coaster with an almost negligible weight. Actually, is this a walk-on?
Almost.
Holy crap, it's a walk-on. And this is one of the ones we couldn't use Fastlane for, so blessings. coaster credits to start our day. We truly haven't had a smooth coaster yet here at Carowinds, but that was definitely the smoothest of them so far. I think that was probably my favorite of the 3 we've done.
Yeah.
So it can only keep going up.
Yeah.
Truly, I think we're on our way, we're on the right trajectory.
I think so.
We just need to work our way up to Intimidator. Hopefully Fury will open before we're done here today. Ah, Cedar Fair. Always keeping me off the kiddie coasters. Looks like we will not be riding this little one-lap special Dinky Kiddie coaster today. But it's here. We're having a hard time finding the best roller coaster. Is it over here or over there? I know, it's a hard choice. It's a hard decision. You think over there?
Over there? Okay.
Okay. So we'll head there next.
Yeah.
How cute is this Pride Month mural? This is beautiful. Peanuts Land is the place to be. It's really empty in here, so I feel like I have room to do a little dance. It's now about 12 o'clock, so we're gonna go ahead and make our first food stop using our all-day dining plan. This is Hometown Leonardo's Italian food. I think I did that wrong. Leonardo's Hometown Italian food. So with our all-day dining plan here, we get to choose an entree, pizza piadina? Not sure I'm saying that right. Stuffed shells, spicy sausage, and meatballs. Those are the entrees to choose from. Katie and I each have a dining plan, so we may have more food here than we'll actually need. Okay, so when all is said and done, the dining plan gets you 1 entree and 1 side, and the side for mine, as I said, bigger than the actual entree. That was a choice I made. Not necessarily the right choice or the wrong choice, just my choice. Katie got the stuffed shells over here and the vegetables. Her plate looks a little more balanced than mine. But the point is, you get a fair amount of food, and you can come back and get more food every 90 minutes, not just from this place, but from anywhere that accepts the meal plan. The food itself is okay, just okay, and it's okay to just be okay, because you are getting a lot of volume out of this. I think 2 dining plans would probably comfortably feed a family of 4 if you had like 2 little kids, and the 2 adults were on the dining plan. So we may wind up with more food than we need today. It's not gonna be, you know, phenomenal food, but it's gonna be enough to sustain us. And that's why we bought the plan. For that and that alone, I think it was worth the price. It was about $30 a person on a Friday. Might be a little higher on a Saturday. I don't think it's a bad deal.
I think the real benefit of this place is that it's inside air conditioned. You can get away from the sun and the heat. So that's a bonus.
Yeah, if nothing else, you have an air-conditioned space and you have bathrooms. This is a slightly more upscale, slightly cleaner one than outside in the heat. Our bellies are full and we are back on the coaster hunt. So this map is a little bit hard to access, but you can see up there the Crossroads area. That's where we're standing right now. So we've cleared Camp Snoopy best we can, and we've eaten. We're now going to head over to Afterburn, and then we're gonna start making our way around. There's a brand new area called Aeronautica Landing. We're probably not gonna do anything in that area except for maybe Copperhead Strike, but I think technically that's part of the neighboring sector, Blue Ridge Junction. If you're unfamiliar with Carowinds and its history with IP, Afterburn actually used to be themed to Top Gun, the movie series with Tom Cruise. So it is no longer that, it is now a generic coaster, but it's still a B&M suspended, and that means that we are going to love it no matter what. This coaster comes highly recommended to us by our friends Chad and Vanessa over at 2 Tickets to Adventure. We are pretty sure that we're gonna like this ride. Wait times have not been bad today, but I'm still glad that we have fast lane.
The assurity that we'll make it through as many lines
right,
as possible. Exactly.
It's not that we can't do it if we don't have fast lane. It's that we really want to be absolutely certain. So we're going to bypass a lot of that. Outstanding. That is a 10 out of 10 ride. B&M suspended, and we've been on a lot of them. We love the Great Bear, we love Alpengeist. I was not as much a fan of Montu, and when I saw this really tight, compact layout, I really thought this was gonna be a little bit more intense. It is intense, but it's not rough. It's not rough like Montu. It's very smooth, it's not jerky. This is my new B&M suspended favorite, which is a big thing to say.
Yeah, it's...
I don't think it's yours. I think you still prefer Great Bear, but...
Yeah, but But it's very good.
So good.
Definitely better than every Batman the ride we've ever been on.
I mean, that's a very low floor. I hope we get another ride on this before the end of the day. We do have quite a few more coasters to get through, but I'm hoping we can circle back and do this one again, maybe after dark.
Definitely the first ride we've been on that we would want to do again.
Yes, very much so. And I think also very much a front row ride, like most B&M Suspendeds.
Yeah.
On to the next one. Welcome, weary travelers, to Aeronautica Landing, the brand new area here at Carowinds for 2023. Now, will we be riding anything in Aeronautica? No, they're all flat rides. They make us sick, but they're so cool to look at. There's a neat little monument right in the center here, dedicated to all those who made the dream of reaching the skies a reality. And you know, Afterburn may not be part of this land, but it does provide some amazing kinetic energy as a backdrop. Gotta hand it to Carowinds. They thought this out. This here is the Air Racers. It looks absolutely horrible. I don't think my body would be able to take this. Wow. Look at the G's. Woo. I almost got whacked in the face. I will say one thing that is really cool about this area, in addition to the theming, almost everything that's here is operating on a fast lane. So like if you have fast lane, almost every ride you can skip the line. There's only like 1 or 2 places to sit down and eat. I think it's just a food truck and then like a couple of different areas you can sit in the shade with tables. But overall, I think this is a really cool area. It's just not my kind of rides, so I'm not gonna spend a lot of time here. There's also a pretty incredible bumper car dome here, all part of Aeronautica. These are probably the coolest bumper cars I've ever seen. It is time. Copperhead Strike is going to be our 6th coaster credit today. The first 5 we did had space somewhere on the platform for bags, for small articles, just so you didn't have to get a locker. This one, as well as a couple others in the park that are a little bit more intense, do require lockers. So we're gonna go ahead and put everything in the lockers, then we'll go ahead and catch up with you after we get off the ride. For those of you that were wondering, the standard size locker applies here. It's just about big enough to fit 2 bags, which is exactly what we have.
Now sit back, watch out for snakes, and enjoy the launches on Copperhead Strike.
What a ride! We actually just did 2 back-to-back rides, not on Copperhead both times, but on Copperhead Strikes, and then over to, what was it, Flying Cobras?
Flying Cobras.
The
Boomerang.
Vekoma Boomerang. Yeah, so let's talk about Copperhead Strikes first. I see why people are terrified of that hang time, especially the slow roll coming out of the station. It is a bit intense. You can definitely feel yourself being pulled towards the ground. It does, however, feel exactly like you are a snake winding your way through the desert, and it's very whippy and yet somehow very smooth. So really cool coaster all the way around. Believe it or not, that was actually our 150th coaster credit. So really cool to check that box with this particular ride. We did then go on to get coaster credit number 151. Let's step out of the snake pen to talk about that one, because the narrator's about to kick back in and I don't want to hear what he has to say. Flying Cobras. Of the 2 snake-themed attractions, this is definitely the worser one. It does have the new trains, much like Jolly Rancher Remix at Hershey Park, so those were a lot more comfortable. The harnesses fit you a lot better. It doesn't jostle you around quite as much. Since we had to get the credit anyway, we got on the train. Turned out to be an okay ride. Still not my favorite because they're just never gonna be, but pretty smooth as compared to some of the other Vekoma Boomerangs we've suffered through. So a very brief update. I think we've got 5 coaster credits left to claim here. If I'm not miscounting, we are right about here towards the Carolina Boardwalk. We're gonna make our way around the rest of the way back towards Celebration Plaza, and that's where we kind of started our day. Fury, unfortunately, has still not reopened. I'm beginning to get the very bad feeling that it may not reopen for the remainder of the day. It'll be what it'll be. There is unfortunately also the possibility of some weather in the imminent future. We've kind of been playing it by ear most of the day. It was supposed to rain around 2 o'clock. It's about 3 o'clock now, so we've already missed the window of it could happen and moved right into it. Probably will, but not quite yet. We're not quite sure. We do have 3 coasters in very close proximity here. This is the Carolina Cyclone, I think, which just came back online after some time down, so we're glad that one's open. We're gonna go ahead and hit that for sure. That's the Hurler back there, which Sam from Expedition Theme Park hails this as the best coaster in the park, so we definitely want to get that one. Ricochet here is a wild mouse, nothing super special except that we do need to claim the credit and we can't use fast lane on this one. So We may claim one of these 3 ride credits quickly, and then I think we're probably gonna have to take a break because we're due for a meal break, and we're getting a little bit dehydrated.
Snack, yeah.
When your train comes to a complete stop, you can push down, pull off on your back harness. Exit to your right towards the vents. Do not forget your items you have set aside your bag and enjoy the rest of your day.
I wish I could tell you that that was a lot smoother than it looked and we had a lot of fun. It was awful. Better than Nighthawk though. So at Chickie's and Pete's, the all-day dining plan includes one of 2 options for each person. You can have the chicken cheesesteak, or you can have the Philly cheesesteak, the actual cheesesteak. Both come with a side of fries. We got one of each. Limited options, but I think that's exactly what we would have wanted anyway. I'm not a huge fan of Old Bay, but thank goodness we have ketchup.
I like the seasoning. They're not hot, fresh made ready fries, but oh well.
It's a theme park. Once again, I would say the volume of the serving is probably enough for more than one person depending on how much each person plans to eat. I mean, this is about a 6-inch chicken cheesesteak. The quality of the food is up for debate, but the size of the food and the size of the portion, pretty on point for the price you pay.
If 2 people are eating every 90 minutes and you're just sharing one meal plan, you could probably make that work.
And I don't believe it.
30-minute wait!
I don't believe it. I had completely given up hope. Guys, we had completely given up hope on Fury 325 today. We had been hearing that they had had some technical issues. It had not been testing all day. We were absolutely sure we were gonna miss this coaster credit. It is open. They just spontaneously opened it. We've got a 30-minute wait right now, but we do have fast lane. We're probably closer to it at the back of the park where we are now than we're gonna be when we loop back around to the front of the park. So I think we're gonna make a game day change here and head straight for Fury, get a couple rides in on while it's cooperating, and then circle back to do all these things in the back. I am so excited. I can't even keep it together. Like, I thought for sure we were gonna miss this.
I was really bummed that
I thought we were gonna have to build a whole nother Carowinds trip into our year just to get that one credit. This is phenomenal. And not only is Fury open, but like, where did the clouds go? It was just a dark gray mess when we went to lunch, and now like it's blue and beautiful. What kind of miraculous day is this? This is where we part ways, fam. We will see you when we get off the Giga Coaster. What even was that? That was insane. We have done exactly one other Giga Coaster, and that's Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion. That feels very different. There's a lot of speed involved with both. This one, I think, what, 95 is what you said?
That's what it said on the stats.
95 miles per hour on Fury 325, so 325 feet in the air. I was literally terrified the first ride. We just did 2 back-to-back rides. Yeah, I know, you were having a blast. I mean, I feel like we could go on and on about the ride. It's something that has to just be experienced to be believed. Let's go check out the merch though, because I did see that while we were on our way out, we grabbed our photos. There was a whole lot of Carowinds merch and Fury merch inside the gift shop that was very unique, so I do want to check that out. And then, you want to do Hurler next?
It's right here.
We've heard good things about Hurler. We'll move on to Hurler after this. Okay, so here at Hive 325, we obviously have quite a bit of Fury 325 merch. These are all the hats. Expansive collection. I actually quite like this one here. The kind of tattered look. I love the wasp. I don't know who decided that Fury equals wasp, but for this ride, it just seems to work. It just does. We have a ton of really cool water bottles. These are like the Yeti cooler kind. They have like the insulation. And these down here, same deal, but they are Carowinds. They're broad, not specific to 325. And here, we have a mug for the absolute worst roller coaster ever made. We also have miniature replicas, AKA nano coasters. So if you're a hardcore enthusiast, you probably collect these. Then we have some broader shirts here, and then we're into mugs and Fury specific t-shirts, all of which are very cool looking. These are actually kind of Yeah, this is like athletic fabric. These squishmallows are becoming very popular, so it's cute and nice that they have these. And of course, Fury won the Golden Ticket Award for Best Steel Coaster not that long ago. I mean, it doesn't feel that long ago. I've been hearing about it forever. So there's this. And if you want, are these bags or short? No, this is a drawstring bag. So Carowinds, just broad merch here. Copperhead Strike, which is another one of our favorites for the day and one of the most popular ones here. And then more Nighthawk. I am just lost on how popular this seems to be. It's awful. It's just awful. And then I really like this high intensity shirt tucked in here in the back. Fury, Hurler, Cyclone, Vortex, Intimidator, Nighthawk, Afterburn, and Copperhead. We have done the majority of these now. Vortex is closed today. Don't know if we covered that. This is the stand-up coaster, it's not open. Cyclone, terrible. Nighthawk, terrible. Everything else, good. Similar shirt style for the I almost said Aerowinds because the C is covered up. Carowinds Intense Rides. Basically just lists out all of the big leaguers with all of their stats. Pretty cool. I've only seen this one in orange so far, so if you're not an orange person. Oh, blue? Okay. Well, if you're not an orange or a blue person, this might not be the shirt for you. But if you are, you have 2 colors to choose from. And last but not least, there's this really neat kind of neon palette for the Carowinds t-shirt down here. It's a very soft colored shirt and a very bright colored logo. So it has a nice contrast. The only thing is, these things are only available in, it's like 2XL and larger right now. I think we're definitely taking something home, but I don't think it's gonna be this specific shirt because of inventory. All right, y'all, we are hauling now. We got about 3 hours left. The park is actually open until 10 p.m. tonight, which is extraordinary, but we won't be able to make use of that time because we have other places to be. So, we have about 3 hours to get through 4 coaster credits, only one of which we can't use Fastlane for. I think we'll have time to do all of that, Boo Blasters, and then some. I know you can't see the sign, because the sun is like right behind it, but we're about to get on Hurler. Our friends Jackie and Sam from Super Enthused and Expedition Theme Park, respectively, hail this as the best coaster in the park. It's a good old-fashioned wooden. I'm expecting good things, and I will accept nothing less. Coasters go. It is one. The first half was very fun. The last half, very rough.
I felt like a jackhammer.
It was a bit rattly. Yeah. Probably a one and done for us today, but maybe when we come back, we'll give it another ride. If people who know theme parks speak highly of it, there must be something to it that we're missing.
I don't know. I think it's controversial. I've heard people want it to be.
It could be.
Seed.
Oh. And I know this is biased to say, nothing has ever beat Hershey Park's Wild Mouse for a Wild Mouse model coaster. Just can't be done. But I will say this, Sand Serpent at Busch Gardens Tampa, just announced its closing, is the floor. So this was better than that. I am genuinely impressed with Carowinds theming. Their commitment to theming, moreover. Just like how much theming is all across every area in the park. Like, this is a silly little mine train coaster. We've been on 100 of them. This is like Big Thunder Mountain level excavation machine here. They didn't have to go to all this trouble, but they did, and I love them for it. Choo choo.
Welcome back, riders. How's that ride? Awesome, awesome. Please remain seated until the ride comes to a full and complete stop. You can unbuckle your orange seatbelt, but wait for the attendant to come around and lift up your black lap bar.
That ride really surprised me. I expected it to be kind of rough and just kind of hokey, and you've been on a mine train before, surely. But that was a truly good mine train ride. That was very...
the most unique mine train.
It wasn't incredibly smooth, but it wasn't rough either. It wasn't jerky. It was just fun. And it was like, it was fast when it needed to be. It was slow when it needed to be. It was a perfect family ride.
Yeah.
I highly recommend that everyone take the time to to get on that at least once. And I'll say this too, we didn't know this until we got off, but apparently it's an opening day attraction. So it's celebrating 50 years with Carowinds this year. Pretty cool.
I can't believe that ride is 50 years old.
It runs like a dream for as old as it is.
I would expect 15 maybe.
We should all be so lucky to have a car run that long, run that well after 10 years. After 50 years, get out of here. It turns to dust.
The train's got a new paint job for
They definitely did, yeah. Gold and red. We got gold train, so feeling shiny. And as if to punctuate my point, Carolina Goldrusher Cheeseburger is here at Jukebox Diner celebrating that 50th anniversary. It's not included in our all-day dining though, so we'll have to pass. I know we mentioned this in passing, but just to reiterate it for anyone who missed the memo, Vortex, the park's stand-up coaster, is closed. It is, however, expected to reopen later this year. No idea when, but if you're missing this coaster credit, as we will be when we leave the park, you will have another chance to get it at some point in 2023 and beyond. We are making our way back towards the front of the park for our final coaster credit, but on our way, we did find a whole shop dedicated to 50th anniversary merch from the Carowinds lineup. So let's take a quick peek at what's in here. Most of this stuff is very basic with just the Carowinds 50th logo on it, but it is branded, much like Disney's 50th merch. So you can get yourself a hat. This button down's pretty neat. It's got the two Carolinas, and then of course, baseball jersey. Not my style, but some people like it. I mean, wouldn't be a true merch shop if you didn't have branded water bottles. I like this style. This kind of opaque finish on it. Very neat. We have ourselves here a whole collection of 50th celebration pins. I didn't even know they have a Rapids rides. Maybe they don't. Maybe that's from back in the day.
I think these are retired attractions.
Are they?
Retired attractions.
Ah,
Some
that
are
explains
new, but
why.
Some are retired.
So White Lightning, yeah. Now that you say that, I do remember that. But then of course there are pins like this for brand new or operating attractions such as Afterburn. Which again, in case you missed our initial reaction, masterpiece. This last shirt here is a little bit more unique. Still got the 50 on it. It's a different logo. I don't think this one is preferable, but it's here, and I appreciate the choice. Look at the little 50th bear. Oh my goodness, does he have a name? He does not. Unless his name is the brand Fiesta. Fiesta of 50 years. Final coaster credit of the day. And something tells me I'm gonna like this one a lot more than I liked Intimidator 305.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For those who do not know, Intimidator and Intimidator 305 are sister attractions. One at King's Dominion, which is a Giga, one here at Carowinds, which is a Hyper. The Hyper is built by Bollinger and Malabard? I always get it wrong. B&M is what we call them. And they do things much, much better at the Giga level than Intimate, who built King's Dominion's version. Just personal opinion, but I think I'm gonna like this one a lot better because of it. About 100 feet shorter than the one at King's Dominion, but much smoother, much better manufactured. I think the one at King's Dominion has a little bit more oomph though. That's like, oh my God, that poor guy. He's gonna be remembered for that forever. Not only was that a better ride than Intimidator 305, it was either my favorite or my second favorite of the entire day. That is such a smooth, fun, fast ride. That should not be a sister attraction to Intimidator 305. In my opinion, it is a sister attraction to Mako at SeaWorld Orlando. Same manufacturer, very similar layout, although I did gray a lot harder on this one than I ever have on Mako. It was just amazing from start to finish. It was like Candemonium's big brother. But that was it. I mean, that was our last coaster credit. We still got about an hour and a half, 2 hours to go before we have to pack it in. So all the stress is off. Yeah. The rest of the day is gonna be incredibly lackadaisical.
And the heat is down.
And the heat is over. Also, just for the sake of having said it, there is nothing like ending a 90-degree park day with a gelati from Rita's. And if you're wondering where to get gelatis from Rita's here at Carowinds, the answer is Camp Snoopy. And only Camp Snoopy, as we've just walked about 1.5 miles to confirm. I'm gonna be real with you all though. This is worth walking to hell and back to get. This is good. A rather spicy performance from RestroSpect to wrap up our day here at Carowinds. Guys, what a day we have had. We got 12 new coaster credits in one day. That means we only missed 2. One because Vortex was down, the other because they would not let us on the Kiddy coaster because we're too tall. We got a little sneak peek of Carowinds as well, because they do have some of the haunted houses set up backstage or starting to get placed.
Definitely
And
some props and things.
from the lift hills of certain coasters, you can definitely see where they're headed. We will not be able to come back and see that this fall, unfortunately, but we're excited to see vlogs from people who can. We didn't get much of a chance to appreciate these lighting packages on these rides. Not staying for much of the After Dark scene. Next time. Until next time, guys, thanks so much for joining us. I'm Tim.
I'm Petey.
And every day
Is a new adventure.
we'll see you again soon. Bye!